Australia. Da. Australija. Da. Eto se ja. Australija. Australija. Morning. Morning. OSCE.
Secretary General OSCE.
Please help him.
Thank you.
Yine dördüncüsü.
Representative of the freedom of the media, OSCE. Next is High Commissioner, OSCE. Parliamentary Assembly, OSCE.
I Roberto, zamjenik. I Roberto najavio. To je zamjenik. Super. NATO. NATO. Morning, Беларусь. Беларус. $30. Да, идем $30 нагоре. Амбасадори на ОССЕ. Той беше Белорусия представник. Я мислям, дека беше. Ќе видим листата после това. Новотни. Кой беше? Белорусия. Hrvatski i Kanada. Hrvatski i Kanada. Италия, заместник министър. Италия, Italy.
Morning.
Италия. Киргизстан. Morning. Hadi sıra ya bakalım. Türkmenistan. Таджикистан. Таджикистан. Тайланд, заместник министр. Тайланд, deputy minister. Бразилия. Japan pomine zamjenik ministra. Ministri Albanija, Vatikan. Таджикистан. Estonia. Estonia. Не гледам до таму, да. Готово, почна на министерско веќе, да. vi kažem da, inače najava...
И ги знаеме сите толико.
Bosna i Hercegovina. Dobro jutro. Kako ste? Hajde, dobrodošli.
Bolje, dobro jutro.
Evi, Turcija, zamjenik ministra. Sad bi vidio, pa. Turcija, zamjenik ministra.
Good morning.
Andorra. Andorra. Gruzija, ne li vole? Gruzija. Opa. Çarık. İsland. Aslan. Чешка, министр. Czech Republic. Minister. Czechska, ja muszę...
Minister, good morning. Can you make me comment on
morning.
media?
No.
Ireland, minister policy. Irska. Ireland, Irska. Na dvorišni работи министър. Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, thank you. Холандия. Министр Конифер. Холандия. Министр за външни работи. Холандия. Холандия. Нидерланд. Литва.
Good morning.
Good morning. Azerbaycan. Azerbaycan. Azerbaycan. Всяки люди. Романија не ви кажа победа амбасадор.
Very briefly, because the minister is waiting. This is an organization which has 57 members on an equal footing. And I believe we are well advised to keep the rules we have decided decades ago and to treat everybody equally. I fully understand that, and I fully emotionally also understand the community purpose and how it comes from. But I believe this is still an organization that we need, not only for concerning relations with the extremely difficult to work with, but for Central Asia, for the Southern Caucasus. So we need this platform for dialogue, and when you look at the state of the world affairs, I believe that we need more and rather less OSCE. Thank you. Sorry? Ja. Sie kann nicht überleben, sie muss überleben und sie wird überleben. Danke.
Помина бившата министрка за външни работи. Danska, Denmark. Danska, Denmark. министр за външни работи. Норвежка, министр за външни работи.
Good morning.
Hello. Luxembourg.
Yes, you too.
SAT. USA. Morning. Чекай, мора да ги успорим овие седмици. Не, прашите. Швейцария. Смисъл. Министър. Идите председател. Малта.
Are you prepared to be defeated?
Armenia. Armenia. Nisam. Armenia, ministar za odvorište rad. San Marino. San Marino, ministar za odvorište rad. A? Ne, ej, odličan je. Bajte se, to je intervjuta? Pa ja da prašljamo da vidim. Morning. Morning, sir, please.
Good morning.
Good, come on in. Vale, pjesa? Uzbekistan. Da. Morning.
Morning.
Uzbekistan ministar. Не, я напрашам. Има промени. Полска ме прашавте преска. За Полска ме прашавте, да. Чекай, нека дојде, да. Мислам, не е моје да кажа, меѓутоа... Да. Не дай Боже. Мислам, оно ја што... Да, ама ова што е за Полска, што ме прашавте, човекот го видов 30 информации. Амбасадор на OSCE. Мислам дека вчера го јавија тоа, беше. Не, беше, меѓутоа за тоа е... Испанија, министр за външни работи. Spain, министр по външни работи. Испанија. Exteriores. Не, тоа е само за Министерство за външни работи. Шпанија. Не гледам.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ајде. Србија следува, значи, министр за външни работи. Србија, министр војна affairs. Може да Молдова, Молдова, Молдавија. Израел, министър за външни работи. Израел.
We are here, came from Israel. The 7th of October was a tragic day for the state of Israel. We actually see that the same country which actually fight and support the fight against Ukraine doing the same against Israel at the moment. There is only one responsible for the massacre of the 7th of October, the hostages, the war that started after, and the suffering of the people in Gaza, which is the Hamas, ISIS. We will continue to fight until we will bring back all our hostages and until we will eliminate Hamas. The world should be united to free Gaza from Hamas, ISIS, in order to ensure that such atrocities will not take place in any other place in the world.
How close or far you are from peace? How close or far you are from peace?
We are determined to continue to fighting the terror organization, and we will do it as long as they will release the hostages. We will continue to the pause, but after the pause, we will continue fighting. Thank you very much.
Швеция, министр за външни работи. Германия, министърка за външни работи. Великобритания. Čekaj, kažem. Не бе, како ќе влезе без нас, како? Ја ќе видим. Treba najava ili?
Da, ko je?
Ruska federacija. Russian Federation. Minister of Foreign Affairs. Lavrov.
Are you ready for peace talks and will pull out of Ukraine?
Добар ден на сите. Најпрво сакам да ви се заблагодарам што сте тука во толков број. Ова е една исклучително значајна конференција која што се одржува Министерскиот совет на ОССЕ во Скопје. Можам на почетокот да кажам дека ако ОССЕ пред 30 години и помогна на Македонија, денес Северна Македонија му помага на ОССЕ да продолжи да биде најголемата регионална безбедносна организација во Европа. Се надевам дека на денешниот состанок ќе бидат потврдени одлуките кои што веќе се разговара на ниво на амбасадори и дека ОССЕ ќе продолжи да работи успешно. Ние председававме во најтешката година за ОССЕ, со оглед на тоа дека организацијата се соочи со голем број предизвици во светло на неоправданата агресија која што и војна која што Русија ја направи врз Украина. Меѓутоа се надевам дека ќе бидат потврдени одлуките за избор на нов председавач, за избор на 4 најзначајни функции и позиции во ОССЕ, како и донесување на буџетот.
Многу министри го откажа учествието и дори на присуството на рускиот министр. Како тоа го коментирате?
Најпрви вчера јас имав средба со државниот секретар на Соединетите американски држави кој што беше тука и на работната вечера, исто и министерот за надворешни работи господинот Камерон на Велика Британија. Ние треба да бидеме свесни дека секоја земја на свој начин испраќа порака за неоправданата агресија која што Русија ја изврши врз суверена држава, врз Украина. Некои тоа го прават со нивно неприсуство, меѓутоа некои го прават со нивно присуство и со многу јасно се надевам искажани ставови во однос на неоправданоста на оваа агресија. Истото ќе го направам и јас на првото излагање кое што го имам денес на отварањето на овој значаен настан. Меѓутоа едно е клучно дека се надевам дека состанокот ќе биде успешен и на крај би сакал да се заблагодарам на сите институции во нашата држава кои што беа вклучени во организацијата, Сакам да се заблагодарам на Министерството за надворешни работи за успешното преседавање во текот на целата година и на адресирањето на најважните безбедносни прашања во регионот на Европа, меѓутоа секако и во нашиот потесен регион во насока на обезбедување на долготраен мир и стабилност во Европа. Ова апсолутно ова вело? Ова апсолутно не е никаква дипломатска победа на Русија. Ова е дипломатска победа на OSCE, со оглед на тоа дека беше доведено во прашање функционирањето на OSCE. Со ова OSCE ќе продолжи да функционира и ќе продолжи да биде гарант на обезбедување на развој на демократските и на мирните процеси во Европа. Нема да имам средба со Лавров. Ви благодарам.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, and honorable ministers, welcome to the 30th Ministerial Council of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, hosted in Skopje, North Macedonia. We kindly ask you to take your seats as we prepare to start. Before Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, and honorable ministers, welcome to the 30th Ministerial Council of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, hosted in Skopje, North Macedonia. We kindly ask you to take your seats as we prepare to start. Before we commence, let's have a look at the video we prepared for this occasion. Thank you. Our world is a beautiful mosaic of diverse cultures, languages, and aspirations. In this world, each person is special and unique, thriving for a life full of hope and opportunity. But our world is fragile and often finds itself at the crossroads of uncertainty. Our differences can lead us down a path of division and conflict, threatening the very fabric of our world. That's why, for nearly 5 decades, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe has been a beacon of hope, unity, and peace. It's in our hands, at this very ministerial council, to overcome our differences and preserve the OSCE for the sake of the people. Every voice, every nation, plays a decisive role. Saving OSCE means safeguarding the aspirations of our people for a world free from fear, where diplomacy triumphs over discord. Let's unite at this decision-making meeting. Let's unite in our commitment to put people first. It's about people.
Good morning. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby formally declare the 30th meeting of the OSCE Ministerial Council open. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the Prime Minister of North Macedonia, His Excellency Dimitar Kovacevski, and kindly ask him to address
the Ministerial Council of the OSCE. Mr. Prime Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, dear Chairman. Почитувам председавач на ОПСЕ, министер Бујар Османи, почитувана генерална секретарка на ОПСЕ Хелга Шмид, почитувана председателка на Парламентарното собрание на ОПСЕ Пија Каума, Ваши екселенции, дами и господа, драги пријатели. Ми представува чест и задоволство да се обратам на 30-тиот министерски совет на ОПСЕ во нашиот главен град Скопје. Северна Македонија е позната по гостопримството и искрено се надевам дека вашите впечатоци овие денови ќе го потврдат тоа. Вложивме големи напори за да овозможиме продуктивен амбиент за овој еминентен собир на министри и високи представници на 57-те земји учеснички и 11 партнери за соработка, како и на генералната секретарка Хелга Шмид и представниците на секретаријатот, Парламентарното собрание, автономните институции, теренските мисии, специјалните представници на председавачот, како и на меѓународните организации и други релевантни учесници. Ова настане кулминација на нашето овогодишно председавање со ОПСЕ, кој и во редовни околности, верувам ќе се сложите, не е лесен ангажман. Но кога во декември 2020 година со консензус ни беше доделена честа да управуваме со оваа најголема регионална безбедносна организација, тешко кој можеше да предвиди дека пред нас ќе имаме вакви турбуленции и предизвици во регионот на ОПСЕ и пошироко. Како во поглед на тешкиот геополитички контекст и ескалацијата на безбедносните предизвици, така и во однос на функционалноста и иднината на самата организација. Визијата на ОПСЕ како платформа за кооперативна и сеопфатна безбедност беше сериозно тестирана во реалноста, а најмногу директно почувствувана од украинските граѓани. Воената агресија на Руската Федерација против Украина продолжи со несмален интензитет и разорувачки последици, потврдувајќи ја својата неоправданост и неправедност. Секој изминат ден и изгубени животи се сурова потврда на оцената дека воената агресија представува акт на флагрантно кршење на повелбата на Обединетите нации, принципите и заложбите на ОПСЕ, како и основните премиси на меѓународното право, но пред се на вредностите на хуманоста. Народот на Украина заслужува мир и војната мора да запре. Постигнувањето праведен и одржлив мир останува императив. Оваа војна продолжува да ги подкопува и темелите на ОПСЕ. Затоа, како клучно безбедносно прашање на нашиот регион и пошироко, централен приоритет за нашето председавање беше и останува да биде обезбедување суштинска поддршка за Украина и нејзиниот народ низ димензиите на ОПСЕ. Истовремено во рамки на нашето председавање должно внимание се даваше и на сите замрзнати конфликти и регионални нестабилности низ ОПСЕ регионот. Тоа е процесот за решавање на Транснистрија, ситуацијата во Јужен Кавказ и кризата во Нагорно Карабах, тензиите на северот на Косово. Иако е надвор од непосредниот ОПСЕ регион, секако, особено загрижувачки и со потенцијални широки импликации, е и неодамна разгорениот конфликт на Блискиот Исток. Оваа комплексна и нарушена безбедносна средина сериозно ги разниша довербата и диалогот, кои се основни столбови на оваа организација. Доведе и до исклучителна неизвестност со блокади околу буџетот, изборот на следен председавач и на клучните раководни функции, дури до мера да се слушаат прашања за основата на постоењето на ОПСЕ. Дами и господа, за момент да ги ставиме настрана националните агенди, за кои меѓу другото, верувам дека најдобро можат да се реализираат преку миролюбива соработка во еден мултилатерален систем базиран на правила и почит на основните вредности и принципи. Ниту една земја, без разлика на големината и силата, во денешно време, на долг рок, не може да просперира во изолација, ниту пак сама да се справува со комплексните предизвици на 21. век. Северна Македонија како силен поддржувач на мултилатерализмот и директен корисник на улогата на ОПСЕ при спроведувањето на демократските реформи и унапредување на состојбите во разни области, е цврсто уверена дека оваа организација е способна да направи разлика на терен. Тоа може да се потврди и преку пример од македонското општество, каде демократскиот изборен процес неминовно е поврзан со наблюдувачките мисии на OSCE одихара. Токму и нашето мото за време на председавањето, за луѓето се работи, го рефлектира тоа уверување. Долготрајните дискусии во меѓународните форуми не треба да бидат апстрактна конструкција, туку да водат кон конкретни решенија кои имаат придобивки за граѓаните. Истовремено, кога е потребно, оваа организација игра важна улога во задржувањето на дипломатијата како алатка за обезбедување мир и спречување на војната и страдања. Северна Македонија, иако не беше директно дел од војните што уследија по распадот на Југославија, сепак во декадите по независноста беше соочена со голем број предизвици како на домашен, така и на надворешно политички план. Ниту еден процес на созревање го чекореше долгиот и не секогаш рамен пат на меѓународно етаблирање и за членување во различни мултилатерални организации. Тоа понекогаш подразбираше тешки, компромисни одлуки, но вистинското лидерство подразбира континуирано барање решенија и прогрес. Така, од корисник на безбедносни и превентивни мировни мисии, денес Северна Македонија е препознаена како фактор на стабилност и активно придонесува за безбедноста во регионот и пошироко. Имајќи го предвид сето ова, признанието што токму ние денес сме домаќини на Министерскиот совет на OSCE е дотолку позначено. Истовремено тука и желбата да возвратиме на организацијата, која и со својата теренска мисија од 1992 година до денес дава свој придонес во напредокот на нашето вибрантно, инклузивно и разнолико демократско општество. Почитувани присутни, се надевам дека се евидентни нашите честни напори за силно, проактивно, ангажирано и компетентно раководење со OSCE, водени од стремежот да дадеме свој карактеристичен и препознатлив придонес во процесите на остварување на поголема стабилност на поширок план. И натаму истрајуваме на нашата основна определба, што е единствен пат напред, да се поттикне инклузивен, суштински и отворен диалог заснован на основните принципи на мултилатерализмот и во срцето на нашата организација. Во остварувањето на вака зацртаната цел, работевме напорно во тесна координација со секретаријатот на OSCE и институциите на OSCE, парламентарното собрание на OSCE, теренските операции и специјалните представници и на прво место, секако, со земјите учеснички. Би сакал да им се заблагодарам на председавачот, министерот Бујар Османи и неговиот тим за неуморната посветеност и пожртвуваност во текот на председавањето. Им благодарам на сите останати вклучени во процесот, им благодарам на сите оние кои учествуваа во организацијата на овој исклучително значаен и најголем настан во историјата на нашата држава и ви посакувам успешна работа во предстојните 2 дена, со исход кој ќе овозможи излез кон помирни води. Сите ние во OSCE имаме потреба од мир, стабилност, обновена доверба и соработка. Историјата ќе не суди по нашите дела. Ви благодарам.
Благодарам. Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister. Let me now proceed to agenda item 2, adoption of the agenda. Before you, you will find the draft agenda of this meeting, which has been forwarded to us by the Permanent Council as document MC-GAL/1/23. May I assume that we can now adopt this agenda? The agenda is hereby adopted. Let me now take up agenda item 3, address by the OSCE Chairman in Office. I shall now, in my capacity as Chairman in Office of the OSCE, deliver the statement. Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome you to the 30th Ministerial Council of the OSCE. I have invited Minister Borg to join me at the head table, as on Monday At the Permanent Council, we reached consensus for Malta to serve as 2024 chair. According to the agenda, we will formalize this tomorrow. Dear colleagues, I'm particularly glad to welcome you all to Skopje, a city known as crossroad of cultures, faiths, and civilizations. I hope you will have a chance to explore the historical and cultural heritage of our capital and feel the sense of diversity and coexistence it nurtures. 60 years ago, when 80% of our city was destroyed by a catastrophic earthquake, the world rallied for support. In times of dramatic Cold War divisions, Skopje became the symbol of global unity and solidarity. Ideology and global competition succumbed, humanity prevailed. Days after the tragedy, Jean-Paul Sartre stated, I quote, "Skopje is not a film, not a thriller, where we guess the chief event. It is a concentration of man's struggle for freedom with a result which inspires further struggles and no acceptance of defeat," unquote. So let us hope and strive that Skopje can once again provoke the best in us, in spite of our divisions and differences. The complex challenges of war and confrontation in the OSCE area, the blatant violation of our values and commitments, the crisis and enormous human suffering around us, they all oblige us to do more, to do better, to be inspired to aim higher. They all spell Sartre's word, no acceptance of defeat. And at the finish line of our chairpersonship, I send the message of hope that we won't miss our meeting with history, that we will respond responsibly to the gravity of the momentum, and that we will ensure a predictable and constructive future for the OSCE. Dear colleagues, I will focus my intervention on three key messages as chairman in office. Number one, the OSCE has endured and continues to deliver. North Macedonia took over the OSCE chairpersonship in a year of active war, with unprecedented threats to the European security and to the international rules-based order. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine flies in the face of all that this organization holds dear, the Helsinki Final Act and other key documents that underpin the European security and its unwavering commitment to human security. The war undermined trust, dialogue, and our capacity to deliver. Above all, it devastated the lives of ordinary people, their right to live freely, trembling with fear of war and warlike circumstances. Within the OSCE, dialogue and cooperation has been replaced with a dialogue of division and polarization. Consensus, often instrumentalized for achieving national political objective rather than serving collective interests, has been weaponized, making even prudent initiatives distant and difficult to attain. This complex backdrop created a uniquely challenging operating environment for our chairpersonship. But despite these extremely difficult contexts, we remained resolute on our course to serve as a devout guardian of OSCE values and commitments. Backed by the vast majority of participating states, we managed to avoid defeatism and convene disparate voices and critical energy to address varied challenges to the OSCE's existence together. And I feel free to say that we managed to maintain our organization's relevance and utility. All of us together managed to preserve the OSCE. Dear colleagues, the OSCE pivoted successfully and stands forbearing and resilient in the face of all challenges and trials. Our organization continues to apply its mandates where possible and when necessary. As chairpersonship, we have engaged in all three dimensions of the OSCE portfolio, organizing the conferences the OSCE is known for, as well as numerous relevant events that added to OSCE's visibility, sharpening the optics that the organization continues to fulfill its mission of cooperative security. Against all odds, OSCE continues to deliver. The field missions continue to make a difference, offering essential practical support to all regions on the map and strengthening capacities in different participating states. We actively engaged across regions, offering our good offices and an indispensable platform for dialogue. Despite the dark realities of conflict faced in Ukraine and the Middle East, multilateralism remains the best tool to prevent conflict and overcome differences and disputes. The OSCE, as world's largest regional security organization, is recognized and valued as needed and reliable partner for peace and stability. With an eye to the future, we have prioritized and engaged in several important areas, including climate change, cybersecurity, anti-corruption, gender and youth. As the world changes, so has the OSCE, and we will continue to adapt to better serve the people and live up to the Helsinki Final Act, come what may. Number two, we must reinforce the OSCE for the future. While underlining the continued relevance of our work and the importance of upholding our values, our organization faced an additional burden with the lack of agreement on its leadership, including the 2024 chair and executive structures and its budget. To continue building an OSCE for the future, we need strategic clarity and not strategic confusion. As chairpersonship, we left no stone unturned to seek and offer solutions to these critical challenges. First among these remains the chair for 2024. And I'm grateful that many participating states joined us in this quest and that the Republic of Malta has assumed the important responsibility and, with the agreement of all participating states, stepped up to fill the vital role of 2024 chairperson in office of the OSCE. Minister Borg, I salute your leadership in the OSCE's hour of need. North Macedonia, in its capacity as a Troika member together with Finland, will provide its support and experience to help make your term as chairperson in office the success we all need and we want it to be. We would like to congratulate all participating states for joining consensus in Vienna. At the same time, I'm confident that Estonia would have served as a competent and dedicated chair and that their righteous commitment to serve as a chair of the OSCE will come forth soon. This organization, like any other, needs and deserves leadership. In addition to a chair, the OSCE requires a Secretary General, a Director of the Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, a High Commissioner on National Minorities, and a representative on freedom of the media. The participating states have demonstrated their strong support for the OSCE, its structures and mandates, but this commitment, it's still necessary to resolve these key questions. Without a budget, chair, or executive structures, the OSCE will struggle mightily to deliver the solutions and outcomes our people expect. The OSCE's programs, field missions, and mechanisms create confidence and trust in our common region, paving the way to greater security and stability for all of us. We cannot allow these tools that have made a difference in the lives of so many to lie unused due to internal inability to wield them. That is paradoxical and unacceptable, and most of all, a betrayal of the people we serve. Last year in Łódź, I emphasized that the weight of today's uncertainty lies on our shoulders. So does the burden of responsibility. I underscore that if we are serious about our very own and the future of our organization, we must act accordingly, in line with our values, common purpose, and entrusted mandate. What the OSCE offers is simply too valuable for us to fall short of our people's demands and expectations. Instead, we need a strengthened organization, refreshed, reinforced, and ready to continue meeting the real challenges we face now and beyond the immediate horizon. We must deliver, and let me repeat, we must deliver. We are here to serve the interest of the people. And number three, the OSCE exists for the people. As chairman in office, I have said since day one that it's about people. Throughout this year, we spared no efforts to promote the message that the OSCE exists and functions for the benefits of its people. Our focus was indeed on the people of the OSCE region, acknowledging the OSCE's role and responsibility in facilitating human security. This concept has guided our minds and hands and is here to stay. Building an OSCE for the people narrative will be North Macedonia's legacy for the future of our organization, and I'm glad that it has been embraced by so many. For us, as the chairpersonship in office, the choice of a narrative was neither a coincidence nor a PR stunt. When we said it's about people, we actually paid tribute to our challenges, our history, and our experience with the OSCE. We have managed to build a resilient multi-ethnic state against all odds in a decade and a region defined by war and hostilities, due to our determination and courage, but also due to OSCE's relentless and constructive support in the most sensitive areas of human security, inter-ethnic dialogue, rule of law, human rights. We can proudly say that OSCE has really worked for the people of North Macedonia. As we begin our ministerial council, I implore all of us to remember this motto, to assert its relevance, and to keep our focus where it belongs, on the people of the OSCE region and what is best for them, regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, race, color, religion, gender, sexuality, or creed. It is our responsibility and our duty to uphold and implement the Helsinki Final Act. We owe this to our people to hold each other accountable on their behalf and ensure that their rights and security are protected and ensured. We have seen the devastating effects of the ongoing aggression on the people of Ukraine and have witnessed the unacceptable carnage caused by a government abandoning the values and principles of the OSCE and pursuing its political goals through the use of force. The OSCE must serve as an active platform for accountability in times when tensions and conflicts are on the rise. The shock are felt across far and wide, with diverse ramifications over human lives. This year we have also observed humanitarian challenges elsewhere in the OSCE, as over 100,000 Karabakh Armenians fled their homes and homeland with no sense of if or when they would be able to return. Safeguarding their rights and security is in line with the OSCE commitments. The chairpersonship supports the continuation of political processes towards a peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Sustained, constructive and inclusive dialogue in good faith is the only path towards durable peace. The OSCE offers the platform today, tomorrow, and for the foreseeable future. We should not forget that the OSCE is engaged across the region and works towards solutions for the immediate needs of the people. We have been entrusted valuable mandates in promoting compliance and continued adherence to OSCE principles and commitments while addressing different challenges in Eastern Europe, Southeast Europe, and Central Asia. As a trusted partner, through its executive structures and autonomous institutions and field missions, OSCE remain active at all levels of our societies, contributing to the comprehensive security for all. Distinguished colleagues, conflict's negative impact on human security only validates the need for the OSCE, its values and unique toolkit, mechanisms and institutions which exist to not only prevent conflict, but to also address its consequences. And as I stated on many occasions in the past, the OSCE can do a lot during war, but it can do even more to prevent conflicts and mitigate the fallout of armed conflicts. For these reasons, we need this organization to foster multilateralism and facilitate cooperation so people can live freely and enjoy normal lives. Our discussion will be difficult, but I have learned something from my many years in politics. It is that the most difficult discussions are the most important ones, and they can be the most rewarding ones if we engage in them with the needed resolve and humility. Let us answer this call together, because it comes not from me as a chairperson in office, but from the people of the OSCE region, the people and citizens of our countries. So let me repeat again, it's about people. It's only about people. Our deeds of today are the legacy of our tomorrow. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much. Let me now take up agenda item 4, address by the President of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, and give the floor to Her Excellency Mrs. Pia Kauma, the President of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. You have the floor, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Secretary General, Ministers and Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. In a world forever altered by Russia's unprovoked invasion and ongoing war against Ukraine, the impact of aggression echoes across our entire region. The Ukrainian people, brutalized and suffering, remain at the forefront of our attention. We cannot turn a blind eye to these clear, gross and uncorrected violations of the Helsinki Final Act. Simultaneously, we confront a multitude of challenges in all corners of the OSCE. As we attempt to navigate this unknown landscape, we must acknowledge the multifaceted nature of the crisis at hand. As we see in the South Caucasus, regional development cannot be guaranteed without peace and stability. Tensions in the Western Balkans persist, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility and peace of the region. Old wounds can resurface, threatening the hard-won progress towards stability. Central Asia demands our continued attention as the region faces its own unique set of challenges that contribute to this overall complexity. The 7th October terrorist attacks and Israel's military response in Gaza have intensified tensions in the Middle East, with a ripple effect in all of our countries. The OSCE Parliamentary Assembly's latest annual session in Vancouver saw fruitful exchanges on the challenges we face. Yet the conclusions are sobering. For the first time in our 30-year history, parliamentarians added a 4th chapter to our main declaration, addressing the institutional crisis plaguing our organization. This unprecedented step reflects not only the gravity of the situation within the OSCE as an organization, but rings alarms on our inability to respond effectively to the broader geopolitical complexities we face. We recognize the unwavering commitment of North Macedonia to finding a solution. A country whose peoples laid down their weapons to build an inclusive multi-ethnic society. A country which demonstrated successful diplomacy with its neighbors, and a country which, as the host of a field operation for the past 31 years, best understands the value of positive engagement within the OSCE. In this critical context, as a Finn, I am also acutely aware of our collective responsibility as we approach 50 years since the signing of the Helsinki Final Act. Finnish President Urho Kekkonen described August 1st, 1975 as a day of joy and hope, ushering in a new era. While the joy may be elusive today, the hope must endure. Despite the challenging environment created by Russia's unjustified war of aggression on Ukraine and the fact that Russian Federation continues to violate all 10 principles of the Helsinki Final Act, the OSCE has managed to carry out with his work. However, the obstacles we face, such as delaying agreements on chair and heads of institution, blocking the adoption of the budget and additional limitations on field operations, threaten our collective security. Our constituents expect results. As their elected representatives, we cannot deflect blame. We must work together towards tangible solutions. In the face of such unprecedented uncertainty, I maintain that the OSCE is more crucial than ever. Our Vancouver Declaration outlines recommendations that underscore our widespread commitment to supporting Ukraine through all means necessary. Real accountability, focusing on victims of conflicts, is paramount. To do this, and be more responsive to our colleagues in Kyiv, we have established a parliamentary support team for Ukraine, which I have the honor to lead. As the executive structures grind to a halt, I will make sure that the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly continues to move forward. My presidency will continue to prioritize strengthening our engagement. The OSCE PA is a forum for political dialogue. We will continue to address challenging topics, offering recommendations to the OSCE and its governments on ways to address our organization's shortcomings. Cooperation with the entire OSCE family, especially with the ODIHR, remains crucial. Strong partnerships in areas like election observation highlight the effectiveness of the OSCE's work. But let us not forget that the OSCE's mission goes beyond crisis management. It extends to shaping a future where the principles of the Helsinki Final Act, born in times of heightened geopolitical confrontation out of a shared commitment, are not just words on paper, but the cornerstone of a stable, peaceful and just world. With the 2024 and 2025 chairpersonships agreed to, we must use this momentum to advance concrete work. Looking ahead, our commitment to the OSCE's mission must guide us in addressing not only the immediate crisis, but also the systemic challenges facing our region. Our ability to foster dialogue, build trust, and uphold the principles of the Helsinki Final Act will determine our success in creating a secure and just future for generations to come. It's about people. Thank you for your attention.
I thank Her Excellency Mrs. Pia Kauma, and now we take up agenda item 5, report by the Secretary General of the OSCE, and I give the floor to the Secretary General, Her Excellency Mrs. Helga Maria Schmidt, to deliver her report to the Ministerial Council. The floor is yours, Madam.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Chair, Madam President of the Parliamentary Assembly, Excellencies, dear colleagues. This is my third Ministerial Council as Secretary General of the OSCE, and it is an honor to deliver my report to you. And as we are gathered here in Skopje, the security environment we face across the OSCE region and beyond weighs heavily on all of us. We've just heard from the Prime Minister, from Minister Osmani, and from President Kauma about the serious challenges we face. And indeed, from all-out war to terrorism, from organized crime and corruption to climate change, from human trafficking to gender-based violence to intolerance and discrimination. And this organization, based on principles and commitments agreed by all participants in Helsinki nearly 50 years ago, is meant to not only address a range of security challenges, but also to hold its participants to account. I have served under 3 chairs: Minister Linde of Sweden, Minister Rau of Poland, and our current chair, Minister Osmani of North Macedonia. All of them have worked tirelessly to uphold and advance OSCE principles, including in the face of grave violations. And I'm deeply proud of having worked to serve these principles as well, as have my colleagues, Teresa Ribeiro, Matteo Mecacci, and Kairat Abdrakhmanov. Take the work of Teresa Ribeiro, our representative on freedom of the media, and her team. They provide staunch support for freedom of expression, free media, and the safety of journalists, all vital for free and fair societies. Or Matteo Mecacci and his staff at ODIHR. They promote and stand up for human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. They help reinforce good governance and provide support and expertise that bolsters a broad range of OSCE principles. And Kairat Abdrakhmanov, the High Commissioner on National Minorities, and his team in The Hague help prevent conflict by promoting inclusive dialogue and strengthening consultative mechanisms within and between participating states. From the beginning, we have worked in the spirit of a whole of the OSCE approach, and I'm grateful for the excellent cooperation, including with the Parliamentary Assembly, now President Kauma, and Secretary General Montella. As I conclude the third year of my tenure as Secretary General, I want to share with you what I have learned about the organization in this most tumultuous of times. I have seen the stranglehold that consensus-based decision-making can bring when not paired with the spirit of compromise. I have seen the hardship posed by the lack of an approved budget and the impact of insufficient resources based on more than a decade of zero nominal growth. I have felt the weight of responsibility for our staff in Ukraine on the 24th of February last year, the urgent work to relocate or evacuate them, the devastation of having lost a member of staff to shelling, and the ongoing anguish over 3 of our colleagues who continue to be detained for their work despite the functional immunity to which they are entitled. There is much that might lead to disillusionment. And yet, through all of this, I have seen how very much this organization has to offer. I have seen how through dedication and ingenuity, our staff have managed to deliver against the odds. And I have seen how unique and remarkable the value of what we deliver truly is to governments and communities across our region. Part of what sets the OSCE's work apart is our ability to foster regional approaches to shared challenges. Take, for example, our work in Central Asia. In Stockholm in 2021, I put forward suggestions of how to support our participating states in Central Asia in dealing with the implications of the brutal Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. You tasked me with developing a plan that addresses a broad range of the challenges across the region. So we developed a program in the Secretariat in cooperation with our field missions. And thanks to several donors, including partners, we are currently implementing 77 million euros worth of extra budgetary projects in this context that ultimately serve us all. The local expertise that we have built through our field presence, including here in Southeastern Europe, is another key aspect of the OSCE's added value. For instance, while armed conflict once tore apart Majevica in Bosnia and Herzegovina, today, thanks to the help of the OSCE mission here, the mayors of Majevica's municipalities are working together on economic and ecological development. This is just one example. I could give many more. But the point is that we are delivering unique value through a regional approach. And our work has more buy-in and greater impact because of how we work with governments and due to the local knowledge and expertise we have developed over decades. And here, let me pay tribute to our excellent local staff who are a key part of what makes the OSCE so effective. We need to remain effective so that we can respond when participating states request support. In Ukraine, while we had to close both of our missions last year, we continue to support the government and society to address the impact of the war, as well as to support the country's democratic institutions. This is possible due to the wholly extra budgetary work that is being done there, with funding from 30 participating states and the European Union and a dedicated special representative on the ground. This supports 20 projects to address issues from the impact of landmines and the environmental effects of the war to trafficking in human beings. I was in Yerevan last week for the autumn meeting of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. Among other issues, I addressed the humanitarian situation facing the Karabakh Armenians who fled their homes nearly 2 months ago. We have followed that situation closely, and we stand ready to support a sustainable solution for all. Our years of experience with the conflict cycle, including in relation to confidence building and reconciliation, can be of service here. We offer solutions that are tailored to local circumstances, and we also address challenges that affect every one of our participating states. There are an estimated 25 million victims of human trafficking per year, and most perpetrators are never held to account. This is not only a human rights issue, but it is a security issue as well, and which is why, across the whole of the OSCE region, we are working with governments and parliaments to make more consistent action against human trafficking. I am proud that the OSCE is a global leader in this fight. On the security impacts of climate change, which you all agreed in Stockholm that the OSCE should do more on, we are playing a truly unique role. At the high-level conference I hosted in July, this was underscored by ministers who spoke about how the OSCE has been a game changer for fostering cooperation across their region. And by collaborating with actors from other international organizations and by involving all parts of society, not least women and youth, we are ensuring that our efforts are not only efficient but also sustainable. I'm very proud of the work we do to engage those who might be underrepresented, including national minorities, youth, and of course women. We are not only combating gender-based violence, but also promote women as agents for change, whether in water management or community policing. And through a network I launched last year, we are supporting women peace builders and mediators from across the OSCE region, as well as Afghanistan. We are helping them to improve their skills and expand their networks, because we need more women at all levels of decision-making. There are many more examples I could offer on cybersecurity, the work we do on connectivity, anti-corruption, and so much more. But you know the value of the OSCE, and you know that despite the challenges we face, we continue to deliver tangible results. As Secretary General, I'm the OSCE's Chief Administrative Officer. And I'm tremendously proud of the staff we have in the Secretariat, field missions and institutions. It is truly thanks to them that we are able to deliver so much value and so consistently, despite the difficulties. I have consistently sought to improve ways of working in the Secretariat and with the whole of the OSCE. And as promised at the outset, I have modernized internal policies with a focus on effectiveness, including on results-based management and evaluation. And in line with my duty of care, we revised the OSCE's internal justice system, implementing a zero-tolerance approach to all forms of harassment. We have also finalized the Secretariat Functional Review, a comprehensive two-phase change process that involved contributions from a significant portion of the Secretariat staff. The results include many improvements to processes, system structures, and the organization of work across the Secretariat. And all of this was delivered without any additional cost to this organization. Where it is within our remit, we are finding ways to improve how the OSCE operates, enhancing efficiency and effectiveness, Yet there is a real need for reforms that depend on you, the participating states. When it comes to resources, we are seeing record amounts of extra budgetary contributions. These have doubled during my tenure. And while I'm very grateful for this, and while I take this as a sign of trust, and I'm really truly grateful, again, to all of you who generously contribute, it cannot substitute for a fixed budget. And as you know, there has not been a unified budget adopted since 2021. As a result, the level of resources we have been operating with has become truly unsustainable. This year, to compensate for inflation and other rising expenses, we had to set up a special fund to supplement our core operating costs. I'm truly grateful to the participating states who have contributed to this fund, which is the only way we could avoid insolvency in 2023. This is no way to run an organization. And while we are meant to align our salary scales with the UN, something participating states agreed, we are not able to do this. In some of our field missions, the alignment rate is barely 60%. The fact that we still have such tremendous staff is remarkable, but also not sustainable. We are losing staff across the organization, people who want to support the work of the OSCE, but simply cannot afford to do so. There are ways to address these and other challenges, but we need your support. Dear ministers, dear colleagues, as I conclude my report to you, I am more convinced than ever that the OSCE is an essential part of the security architecture. The need for our unique contributions is greater than it has ever been. I'm proud of the work we do, the results we deliver, and the ways in which we make a difference across the OSCE region. This organization has key instruments needed to support peace and security. And this organization brings all those relevant to security and Eurasia together around one table, including our partners for cooperation. And thank you again, dear Chair, dear Buya, for hosting us all here and also for your dedicated leadership throughout this year. The OSCE has been and remains a quietly powerful force for change for so many of our citizens across the OSCE area. It is indeed about people. With your support, the OSCE can be a crucial contributor to a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I thank the Secretary General of the OSCE, Her Excellency Ms. Helga Maria Schmidt. That concludes agenda item 5, and I shall now close the opening session so that we can take up the next agenda items, and let us take a short break to enable the media to leave the hall, and I would kindly request the delegations to remain in their seats. The opening session is closed.